Life is what you make of it. This is a cliche that holds hidden truth. But for many of us, the truth is hard to hear because of the lives we live. For those who know this sentiment and cringe, may I ask you why? Why does this sentiment cause you internal struggle? Have you ever given it any thought? What if I were to repackage this sentiment? Would you be at ease then? They say you have to make the most out of life that you have been given. Which statement for you is true? It turns out that both these statements are true because they're saying the same thing. It's just a matter of perspective. We all carry a map inside of our heads of how we believe life to be. We have convinced ourselves that life is the way it is based on our perception of how we think the world is, based on our limited experience of it. Do you know that none of us are an expert at life? Every person's success is set apart and different from everyone else's. This is why the sentiment, life is what you make out of it, holds truth, but it can also be held up to question. But what about life? Why is it so hard for some of us and easier for others? Why does life seem to hand people all they have ever wanted, but we are left to struggle? That's a good question. The truth is hard to hear, but life is what you make of it. What effort you put into life, you will get that same kind of effort back to you. Let me give you an example. Have you ever driven on a road that was newly paved and driving on it was smooth like butter? However, all it took was one cold season of snow and freezing rain to ruin the asphalt. By the time summer came around, the road was showing wear and tear. You had to avoid potholes and cracks in the road to save your tires. How could this be? The workers did such a wonderful job, and all it took was 6 months for the road to fall apart. What happened? Did someone cut corners? Well, that we will never know. But what we can assume is that perhaps the recipe changed. It was probably part of the problem. To cut costs, the roads that were created 20 years ago are not built the way they are today, as back then roads were built to last. Maybe someone did make a mistake and put too much or not enough of the main ingredient. Or maybe someone was sick and didn't pack down the foundation enough first before laying the tar. Whatever the reason, one will never know, and because we were not there for the beginning and the end process, nor were we there to witness the in-between, that's because we're not experts to anybody else's life except for our own, and we are only experts according to our experience, and some of us have had limited experiences in life. And this is what shapes us to judge other people's lifestyles and to judge our own and to assume that life just wants to keep beating us down and life hates us. That's far from the truth. It's easy to judge based on what we should do, what we haven't done, what we wouldn't do, what we will do, what we want to do, or what we don't want to do. But the point is, life is what you make of it. And if you are not paying attention to the entire process, What you get out of life is going to be very little, very fleeting, and just a tiny piece of the whole that you should be getting. See, sometimes we leave life, our lives, to somebody else's responsibility, and that always sets us up for a fall. If you are not present to pay attention to the details of your life and how somebody is interacting with you in your life, and if somebody else is holding responsibility that you should be holding responsibility for your own life, then what you get out of life comes back to you, what you put into it: struggle and heartache. So let me say this: if you are not present to pay attention to the details of your life, then how can you expect monumental things to come to you from life? That's our problem. We expect too much from life while assuming that we do not have to invest very much. We invest very little in ourselves, and when problems go wrong, we push the responsibility onto somebody else. Now, this is no less true when dealing with the narcissist. Narcissists are responsible, but there is one thing that I have learned in letting go of the narcissist so that I can learn to love myself. And this is that I had to take responsibility for my actions in the relationship I had with the narcissist. I had to take responsibility for how the relationship got started with the narcissist in the first place. I was blinded to the narcissist's charm. I was dumbfounded to the love bombing. But does that make me innocent? No. Life happens for you, not to you, and life is what I was making out of it. I was naive to the devious ways of the enemy, and because of that, I continually allowed myself to be hurt by the enemy. But not understanding how the enemy was built and molded to suit the opposing ways of God, I assumed that everyone was of God and that everyone has the potential to serve him. Ignorance is not bliss, and being ignorant to the predators, the wolves in sheep's clothing, is what God uses to teach us about the way life really is and how it really works, and as he allows the enemy to teach us about ourselves. This understanding goes deep, and as you journey with me on this e-coaching course, you will discover life's finite meaning. You will understand that perception is a two-way street, and you will shift your outlook to become more focused on the things in life that matter most to you. This coaching course is entitled Losing You, Loving Me. It's a course that allows you to let go of the hurt and pain of a toxic person in your life while reacquainting yourself with you again. But in order to do this, we must also learn to lose ourselves in order to love ourselves in the process. Most of us, when entering into a relationship with somebody, we end up stepping away from ourselves. I did this. I have learned that every time I entered into a narcissistic relationship, when that relationship ended, and they will, I was left empty. Each time, I had to find myself again and again and again and again. And this is common as the narcissist desires his or her partner to abandon all sense and sensibilities to worship the ground the narcissist walks on. We abandon the friendship with our innermost beings, and because of this, we never give ourselves any chance to be the friend to ourselves that we need. But it is when we find ourselves wrapped up in a relationship that seems so blissful and intoxicating, we can't think of anything else but the person we are in love with. It's such a warm, cozy feeling, and it is different than anything we have ever felt before. Many of us are not prepared for the breakup with the narcissist. That is because we are under the false belief that they will never leave. They tell us that they are in the relationship for the long haul. They love us to the ends of the earth and back, to the moon and back, and will go the distance no matter what it takes. They will fight for us in the relationship. They got our backs. They will take a bullet for us. They will love you at your worst and love you at your best. But guess what? When push comes to shove, when the worst of you is revealed to them, their sly tactics of dismantling your integrity by picking apart your character is revealed. And they abandon you. And they leave you to pick up the pieces of your broken heart that they have left behind as they leave you in their dust. Hello, my name is Shannon Gilmore, and I am your Christian life coach and author, and I am here to tell you that I fell in love with a narcissist. Not just one, but many of them. As my life has been on a pattern of repeat and repeat and repeat, I am so sick and tired of going through this futile cycle of abuse from the narcissist and from myself. I had to get sick and tired of being so naive and grow up into a healthy understanding of what it means for me to be an adult and self-parent myself. I know, and you know, that you are a healthy and a well put together person. You've got your head on your shoulders and you know life as best as you can know it, and you're doing pretty good in the life that you've been given. You are confident and smart, you're caring and you're funny, and you know you're a good person. I had to ask myself, am I so desperate for love that I will take it from just anyone? From a narcissist? No. We all have our standards of excellence for ourselves and what we want from another person. We know what we are looking for in a potential life partner. And so does the narcissist. That's the catch. They are looking for people like you and me because we can easily bounce back. We're not bitter people and we love freely, as this is what the narcissist wants. They are looking for unconditional love. This is what makes us their target. But there is something that I would be honored to teach you, and that is something that God taught. And that is something that God taught me in walking in unconditional love. We are not meant to be doormats. We are not meant to be suckers, naive, and no, we are not gullible. There is a way to protect our hearts. And we were actually defrauded into accepting a contract with the narcissist. The contract was a relationship with the narcissist who had no intention of fulfilling the duties of the contract. Now, if the narcissist was truthful, then we would not have signed up. Seriously. We are to be innocent as doves and shrewd as snakes. And when you have been on the merry-go-round of emotional highs and lows with the narcissist, you get used to their lingo. But there's hidden insight that lies beyond the narcissist's speak. These are the hidden patterns of human nature that will allow you to spot a deceptive individual when they are trying to hide who they truly are from you. Losing You, Loving Me is the 40-day emotional cleanse that you need to help heal you from the narcissistic brainwashing and abusive tactics that the narcissists use to emotionally bind you to unhealthy behaviors that the narcissist knows all too well. Emotionally, the narcissist wants to take you apart and dismantle your emotions until there is nothing left of you. They may not realize this is what the goal is, but from a spiritual perspective, this is the ultimate goal. They serve their master, and if this were not true, then there would be a cure for narcissism. But so far, psychologists all agree that narcissism, the behavioral disorder, cannot be cured. The narcissism, the actions of narcissism can be managed, but the main ingredient that makes us emotionally responsible human beings is empathy. Narcissists do not have this. And while they can learn to fake being empathetic, the motives behind doing so is self-serving, and this e-coaching course will help you see the forest for the trees by looking at something very particular written all over the narcissist's mannerisms. The narcissist's mannerisms come to them instinctively, and because we are the opposite of who they are, we are unaware of these behavioral traits. And let's face it, it is hard to understand how they think, let alone understand the motives behind what they do. Some of the narcissistic individuals have lost all common sense, and that only further exasperates you, causing you irritation to no end. But stay calm, stay alert, because behind that demeanor, there's a whole lot of detail going on that through this e-coaching course, I will help you to see and sense in a way that tips you off before you have a chance to say yes on that first or second date. And I've tried this out myself, and I've experienced this where within 3 hours of talking with somebody, they dismantled in front of me. I went out on a date, and just by being aware of the narcissistic lingo and what to expect from their mannerisms and posture, I don't want to give away too much, but I was able to assess, stay calm and quiet, and let the narcissist speak for himself, and oh, he did. I want to share with you some healing strategies to help you deal with living from the side of loss. Because when a narcissist lets you go, it is extremely painful. When you find yourself discarded from the narcissist, this leaves you in a state of panic, a state of worry, and gives you a sense of loss that is hard to find your direction in. Living life from the side of loss is not easy. And it seems that the coping strategies that we are left with are enduring the 5 stages of grief, coupled with a sense of loss that leaves us in a state of desire and takes us out of our right minds. It is sometimes as if we have lost all common sense ourselves, knowing that the narcissist abused us, but still wanting them back to try again. What the fudge? Seriously, for me, I know I'm a smart woman. I know I'm intellectual. I know I'm not crazy. And I know what abuse looks like and feels like. So why was I desiring the narcissist back against my better judgment? What was wrong with me that I couldn't see? Well, there's nothing wrong with me and there's nothing wrong with you. I fully believe that what the narcissist implants us with is a spiritual virus inside the circuitry of our brains. That's what brainwashing is, and it's subtle. But when you know it is there, you can literally feel it. It's a parasitic grip that you have to address each narcissistic stranglehold in order to unhook the claw that sits in the hemispheres of your brain. I am convinced this is a spiritual weapon, and if it's not addressed, it will paralyze us and prevent us from becoming the people God needs us to be. We suffer the consequence of loss every day. And this is what allows us to live in a perpetual state of grief that holds us bound to depression. Or on the other side of that, we find ourselves in a state of bitterness that keeps us grounded in aggression. Where's the happy medium and balance in life? Surely there has to be something that can help us overcome the losses in life, right? It's hard to find that perfect balance in life. And that is because you are as unique to life as the day you were created in it. No one is like you. And because of this, there is not one surefire thing that works for everyone. The solution to finding a healthy balance in life is achievable, but the solution doesn't come from outside of ourselves. It comes from within. But the solution isn't easy to find. It comes out of you through deliberate and committed effort. This is also unique to you. Have you ever tried a fad diet? A fitness routine? It's fun and exciting to try something new, but the measure we should go by to tell if something is worth our time is not by the popularity that we see in the product. We need to look at the results. Most of us who gravitate to fad diets and fitness gimmicks are not looking for the end results. We see the end results of the fitness spokesperson on the package, but we fail to understand that we haven't witnessed their in-between. We haven't witnessed the walk or the hard effort they put into getting themselves from point A to point B. How did they start? What's their story? Were they faced with a prognosis that offered very little hope? Did they have problems with food, such as allergies, maybe a gluten intolerance, or were they an emotional eater? What did they do to overcome the challenges so that they could stay motivated within their fitness and diet routines? These are the things that the health and fitness industry fails to tell us. And because we fail to ask, we essentially are making them responsible for our health and well-being. Life is what you make of it. Those people on the fitness boxes and who are promoting fad diets and fitness regimes, they put the effort in. They got their end results. They're trying to show you that you can get the end result too, but you have to work for it. Their work that they had to put into it is not going to be the same work that you have to put into for you to achieve the results that you need for your health and wellness. So what happens is when we do not get the results that we are expecting in a timely manner, we give up. We quit and try something new. Do you realize that every time you quit something, you are failing yourself because you are quitting on you? You are not quitting on the product you bought into. You are quitting on yourself because you had high expectations that this product would do the work for you. All you needed to do was put in minimal amount of effort. But life doesn't work that way. So why do we have a right to put in minimal amount of effort in achieving something with grandiose results? We don't. We don't have that right. But we demand that right. And when we enter into a relationship with a narcissist, most oftentimes it's because we are not yet ready. And we set ourselves up for getting hurt again because we are expecting the other person to take over the reins and give to us what we have yet to give to ourselves. Many narcissists come into our lives thinking that we can make them happy. And some of us who are perhaps codependent cannot let go of the narcissist because we have this false belief pattern thinking that if we say and do the right things, that will change their mind. But no, a narcissist's mind is made up. And you who have been hurt by a narcissist, your mind has yet to be made up in a pattern that helps you to know what you know what you know. You are in a pattern of confusion, and it's up to you to sort out and make sense of that confusion, of what makes sense to you. I digress. You will hear me say repeatedly that life happens for you, not to you. What you put into life, you will get back in return. You truly do reap what you sow. Most people want answers, but we want answers in the way of finding a solution without having to trust the process as we purchase items in high expectation of achieving the maximum amount of results with the minimum amount of effort. If that is what you are thinking this coaching course is going to do for you, then this course is not for you. I want you healthy. As my sister in Christ, I need you healthy. I need you. I need you to stand in the gap for those people who have been traumatized and hurt by narcissists that somebody like me and my circle of friends cannot reach. We, as a sisterhood of people who are going through and have gone through the transition of healing, we are needing you. You are our hope. Your life is not just for you. You are going this distance for a reason. You are going through the challenges of narcissistic abuse for a reason. And yes, that reason is with you, but it's not finished with you. Life is challenging you to become the best that you can be for somebody else who is not yet ready to pick themselves up, that person who is so weak by the disaster that they're living, they may need somebody like you to come along who is strong and wise and powerful and has her stuff together. And you can pick them up and say, hey, keep going. You just got a few more steps. Come on, I'll walk with you. I'll go the distance with you. That's what we're here for. I need you to be on my side. I need you to be on God's side. I need you to be on your side. And we, as a sisterhood, need each other. And we need each other in the fact that we need to learn from each other, and we need to have each other's back. Because the enemy is out there prowling like a lion. And he's taking names, and he's leaving no holds barred. And I am really tired of losing to love. I am tired of feeling that I found love and then having it lost from me. And so once I discovered through God's help on how to finally see the light and understand this, guess what? The narcissist is still going to be attracted to you, but you're going to be able to say, and keep walking. Because you now know, with all this information that you have learned and what you will learn in this e-coaching course, you will have the tools to equip you right away so that you can see the predator coming and you don't have to engage them. You don't have to stop and look at them and let them look at you and let them sweet talk you. Your ears and eyes will be blinded to them, and you will gravitate to wholesome, magnetic, godly people who will enhance your life, not hinder it. And again, I digress. We have allowed ourselves to become numb to this process of learning. Some of us just go through the motions and allow others to take from us because this is what we were meant to do. According to what the Bible scholars say, is that we're not supposed to give up a fight, and we're just supposed to be like Jesus, meek and mild, and turn the other cheek and let people stomp all over us. We have been taught to give and give and give and give and put others first. But honestly, no one sent us the memo that tells us that eventually the well of goodwill runs dry. Where was that memo? Where was I when that memo was passed around? Seriously. Where were you when someone whispered to you in the dark? Work on your communication skills. Work on being more assertive. Work on healing your past pain. Psst. Have you ever heard that? The nudging in your heart, the intuition in your gut, that still small voice in your head that says, maybe you should go here instead of going there. That was God whispering to us and speaking to us through our intuition and nudging our hearts. And oftentimes when we are not listening, or our hearts and minds are so focused on the pain, we can't listen. Literally, scientifically speaking, when we are emotional, the frontal lobes of our brain, where logic and rationality resides, shuts off, and we cannot compute anything and make any sense of anything logical. So when that happens, oh heck yeah, we can't hear God. We're closed off to any rational thought. So sometimes God has to speak to you in another way. How many of you dream? Start paying close attention to your dreams. Dreams are useful as they are a means for God to use your subconscious, the hidden memories that really rule your comings and goings and your patterns of thinking, to give you pause for thought. God uses dreams as a means to get your attention so you can see the truth within yourself and stop looking to the outside for answers. Now, this course will help you understand your subconscious motives and help you better address the hidden things about you that drive you to make decisions you do not necessarily want to make. Understanding this will help you to see yourself in a different perspective and allow you to breathe confidence as that confidence shines to those you love. This will project to them a healthy image as you begin to offer your help with directed guidance from the perception of what is healthy for you. Putting yourself first is not a bad thing. Putting yourself first so you can offer your best to others is the most loving thing you can do for them. Think about this for a moment. If you rarely take time out for you and work on striving to be your best by changing yourself inwardly, then what do you think might happen if someone asked you to help them? Helping them requires you to stand on inner strength, but because you are depleted of that inner strength, you cannot give to the other person what they need and what they asked for. Now the two of you are in need, and help is nowhere to be found. So you walk off feeling defeated and not knowing what happened. And perhaps this prevents you from willing to try to tackle the situation later on. Life has essentially defeated you because you are not prepared. You were ill-equipped. Life exposed you to your weakness. It exposed you to yourself and to others. But most of us are blinded to this and we're not listening. So what do you want out of life? What do you expect from life? What do you think life's meaning is? These questions and more will be answered in this course, as the narcissist was a major theme in your life for you. This course will enable you to achieve success as you understand how your past has been a hindrance and the door to your success, as well as being the door to your success all along. You will discover ways to overcome and excel at your greatness with scientific understanding backed up with biblical application. It's time to find the happy medium outside of the doldrums of the states of depression and aggression and find somewhere in between, outside of stagnancy. You want to be happy and feel the joy of the Lord and experience the goodness of what life has to offer? You can. You are deserving of this. And together, you and I, we're going to find ways to help you find your way to brand life that knows your name. You can find freedom in life that allows you to retain your integrity without compromising who you want to be. Life is simple. It happens for you, not to you. And how you manage your way through life is for you first, as life strengthens you for you so you can be strong for those who life put in your path for you to help. The focus of this e-coaching course is to set you on a path of 40 days to health and wellness. This course will provide you spiritual techniques and biblical guidance to help shift your focus off of other people, including the brainwashing tactics of the narcissist. And that's why I chose 40 days. With repeated effort, it takes 40 days for, I believe, a habit to establish. As in the Bible, in the Hebrew times, we see Jesus fasting for 40 days. That has significant meaning, as well as the Hebrews when they went through a period of mourning, and because they lost somebody due to death, they were only allowed to grieve and mourn for a period of 30 days. After that, it was life as usual. So for me, in my health and wellness, it took 40 days for the brainwashing to be alleviated and arrested, where I finally felt whole and where I finally felt myself, and This was not easy, but with guided effort through the Bible and through this coaching course, you will have the tools that you need to set you on your journey of health and wellness. But you have to be a willing participant. You have to be willing to face those negative feelings, such as depression, low self-worth, isolation, not to mention address the abuse and trauma and not just address it, but come to terms with it in the truth of what the reality was and who the narcissist is and who he isn't. The abuse and trauma that follows an abusive relationship needs to be addressed. Understanding the root cause of these feelings and behavioral traits of the brainwashing of the toxic individual runs deep. Now, this course will help you to understand the root to their behavior as the root takes hold in your mind to keep you focused on the one fear that we all face, including the narcissist: rejection. The learning outcomes from this course will be that you will reconnect with yourself as you reconnect or connect with God. This course will challenge you to discover a lasting relationship with yourself and with God by holding yourself to healthy boundaries as you learn to become your own parent, reliable and trustworthy. Now, this is not a cookie cutter program. While some of the information you receive is universal and exclusive to everybody, and only exclusive to this course, there is also information that is exclusive for you based on your own personal needs. My name is Shannon Gilmore, and I have survived narcissistic abuse many, many times. And I understand now why this is a necessary evil in our lives. The perspective that I share is both healing and freeing, and through hidden insights that I cannot share with you publicly, as these insights will tip off the narcissist, but they are secrets you should know about the narcissist that they do not want you to know. Experience is a good teacher, and the more you know, the more empowered you will be to make healthy decisions for you. That puts you first so you can bring your best to a thriving and healthy relationship. To receive your free half-hour consultation to see if this course is a good fit for you, introduce yourself and let's get started today on your journey of health and wellness. Email me with your comments, questions, and suggestions to srnityblu@gmail.com. Be blessed.